Hello, everyone. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that maybe doesn't come up very often in the business coaching world, but a topic that I think is really important for us to discuss, and that is ego. I want to talk about how our egos might actually be holding us back. And I want to note right off the beginning, or right off the start, that there is a difference between being really confident and being very egocentric. And I think the biggest difference is with confidence, you can be confident in your ability to accomplish something. You can, know that you have the skills or the resources to be able to accomplish something. But with ego is more fragile. Ego is something where it really is less about what internal things we have, and it's more about getting external validation through various means. And so, for me, at least, when I talk about the difference between confidence and ego, confidence, I think, is something that's derived within us. Whereas ego is something that kind of, someone's stroking our ego. It's more of an external thing. And I do think that it's actually really important for us to talk about in business, because I've seen it myself. I do it all the time. And I see it in other people where ego is actually the thing that's preventing us from growing our business. And the reason it's so important for us to discuss and to look at ego is because it also is a huge factor in us not only being able to build a business that we love, but it's also a big factor in us not being able to build a life that we love. Most of us have gone into business not because we want to be rich millionaires just for the sake of being rich millionaires. It's often because we want other things that go along with it. But we can get so stuck in this ego trap as we start to grow our businesses that we start to lose sight of the very reason we started our business in the first place, which was for a certain type of lifestyle that we wanted. And I wanted to address this because I have also been noticing this really big trend in entrepreneurs being egotistical about being entrepreneurs. And so I wanted to state right off the start, being an entrepreneur does not make us any better than anybody else. It doesn't mean that we even take more risks than other people. It's just a lifestyle preference that we have decided for ourselves and potentially for our families. And it's a certain type of living. But there's been this trend lately in the last few years where people, again, and even the overuse of the word entrepreneur and hustle, we have almost gone into this place where we use it as a point of pride. And again, you are totally allowed to be proud of the fact that you're an entrepreneur. I'm so proud of the fact that I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm proud of everybody else who also, again, takes those risks and build those businesses. But that doesn't make you better than other people. And that's a first ego trap that we get into as entrepreneurs, is you sometimes start a business just to feel better about ourselves. And if you're starting a business to feel better about yourself, then you're already going down the wrong path. You want to be starting a business for other reasons. And again, having more confidence in yourself and feeling better about the things you accomplish can totally be part of it. But sometimes if we just do something because, again, we want other people's approval, and it's the other people's approval that is part of that ego trap. And so I have three questions that I kind of want to talk about, or three concepts when it comes to ego in business. And then I'm going to obviously, give you some strategies to help you work through your ego. And I'm saying this as someone who, I have a big ego. So this is something that I'm routinely working through. And I thought, I have my little shirt today as well that says ego death on it. So I thought it would be fitting to wear for my video today. But the first question I want you to ask yourself is, are you in entrepreneurship? So even just when you're looking at other people who are running their businesses, you're looking at their Instagram, you're looking at their Facebook, or you're watching a video of theirs, whatever it is that you're doing, and you think of something like, oh, wow, that person, I don't want to be like that person, or that was a really weird post, or I can't believe that person did that, or what is that person thinking? We often go through these thought patterns when we're absorbing other people's content. And again, sometimes our thought patterns are, that person's so wonderful, I could never be that person. Sometimes our thought patterns are quite demotivating and belittling to ourselves. But in the same tone, sometimes we're belittling and demotivating to other people. And it's really about tearing down somebody else. And so I want you to ask yourself, when you're doing something, are you doing it to feel superior to somebody else? So if you're even doing something in your business, so say you go to an event and you're like, oh, I like that event, but I can do it way better. And so I'm going to do it way better. Just stopping yourself and asking, am I doing this because I actually want to create good? Or am I doing this because I want to feel better than somebody else? And it's just like these little moments, and it might be hard for me to convey in a video, but I do just think that it's something really important for us to think about, is when you're doing something, and again, this applies to life, are you doing something because you want to feel superior to other people, or are you doing it because it actually aligns with who you are and what you value and what you want to bring into the world? And it could be as simple as, are you buying a house because you want to feel better than people who don't have houses? And in our minds, it might not come out or manifest itself so negatively, but I do want you to just catch yourself when you're thinking about what you're doing in your business, or you're thinking about your life in comparison to other people. Are you always looking at it from the lens of looking for validation that you are, at least you're better than that person? Or, okay, well, I'm not that messed up. Or, okay, well, at least I have more motivation than that. Or at least I'm more organized in my business than that person. Or, well, I'm at least making more money than that person. Again, are you catching yourself in these conversations that you have in your mind, and it might be with other people out loud, where you're talking about stuff in a way that is trying to make you feel superior? And this is really, really important to note. And it can be so hard to catch ourselves in it because we also don't want to think of ourselves as egotistical. But if you are trapped into this loop of trying to feel and wanting to feel superior, then you're never actually going to take those hard looks at yourself and ask yourself, am I doing the best job? So what if I'm more productive than this other person? I'm still not at my optimal productivity, and I need to worry less about what other people are doing, and I need to worry more about what I'm doing. And that's where that ego can actually, again, prevent us from being able to grow our business, is because it shifts our focus off of ourselves and our growth and our business growth and development. And instead it shifts our focus onto what other people are doing and looking for validation and justification for what we're doing based on what other people are or not doing. So that's the first question to kind of ask yourself. The second is, again, sometimes, and I'm very guilty of this, is we get into this concept of like, oh, I can figure out everything on my own. And it becomes a point of pride. It becomes like a badge of honor where you're like, I can do everything. I don't need other people's help. I'm smart enough. I can totally figure it out. And you know what? You are smart enough and you can totally figure it out. But is your wanting to say, I did it all by myself, is that actually preventing you from growing faster? Sometimes we don't want to ask for help because we feel like asking for help means that we're not as smart or we're less capable or that we're being weak in some way. And that is, again, that ego telling you that, oh no, you can only be the greatest if you do it yourself. And we hear people, even entrepreneurs, say this all the time. Those entrepreneurs that are like, I'm a self-made person. If anyone tells you the dead face that they are like a self-made anything, they're lying, because nobody is self-made. All of us are made up of the experiences and interactions that we have with other people. None of us would be where we are if it wasn't for our parents or mentors or coaches or teachers, friends, family. Whatever we have in our life and whatever we've accomplished is obviously in part because of the work that we've done, but it's also because of the people around us and the influence that others have had on us, whether that be, again, coaches, teachers, mentors, family, friends, people who have supported us financially at the beginning of our journey, people who haven't. Nobody is self-made. And so when you recognize that the people who are really successful have had a lot of help along the way, it makes it easier for us to say, okay, it's okay that I can't figure this thing out. I can hire somebody to help me, because that's what that person's there for. And so even though you might be able to figure it out all on your own, and again, I think that you probably could figure it out all on your own. But do you want to spend all your time and energy trying to figure out something when somebody could just tell you the answers to that problem, and instead you could spend your time executing the solutions versus spending all that time trying to figure it out? And the reason, especially in business, trying to figure it all out on our own holds us back is because it means that we're less likely to delegate or outsource, because we also get into this space where it's like, well, no one's going to do it as good as I've done it. Nobody else is going to be as capable, or, they're not going to do as good of a job as me. That's not true. That is an egocentric thought right there. Other people most likely actually probably going to do it better than you, because they have more time and they have more energy. They're bringing new creativity, new eyes to a certain task. So just because you can do everything in your business doesn't mean that you should. And if you're spending all your time and energy doing things that you could delegate out, then you're not spending enough time doing income generating activities. And then again, if you don't want to hire a coach or a mentor or whoever because you want to figure it out, you can totally figure it out. But you also want to think about what's the cost of not taking action on something. What money are you potentially losing out on? Or even more importantly, what time are you missing out on that you could just be enjoying your life, but instead you're doing some tasks just because you're stubborn and you want to be able to say that you can do it all yourself, or you're scared that other people aren't going to do it as well as you. And then the third question is caring too much about what other people think. And I fall into this trap a lot, and this is something that I'm really trying to work through, is sometimes we want other people's acceptance and we want their approval so badly that we actually start doing things for other people. And most of us, unfortunately, we do live our lives for other people. And I'm saying this, I'm guilty of this. And how this falls again into this ego trap and how it might actually be affecting your ability to grow your business is if you are doing things in your business, so maybe you're not doing stuff because you're afraid of being judged, or maybe you're doing certain things because you think other people are going to think it's cool, or other people are going to think that you're smarter now, or that you're more capable now, and that they're going to, accept you, and you're going to get their approval because you've done these things. But those things you don't even want to do them, or they don't align with who you are, or they don't fire you up. That is a way where your ego is actually hurting your ability to grow your business and live your life the way you want to, because what you're doing is building out your business and building out your life for other people, for their approval, for their acceptance. And what ends up happening is you might spend years and years and years building a business for other people's approval, only to wake up one day and be like, I don't even like this anyway. And that really sucks, mostly for you. So that's why it is important to ask things again. How is our ego kind of holding us back? Or how is, again, are we looking for other people's approval? Are we trying to feel superior to other people? Am I just trying to be stubborn and figuring it out on my own? And those are actually things that affect our ability to grow. And so I have 3 things that I want to share with you that can kind of help combat that. One, again, and this is especially with if you're trying to do things to feel superior, just focus on positive impact. If you're focused on creating a positive impact on other people's lives, and it doesn't have to be, you're going to change the whole world and you're going to find a cure to cancer. It doesn't even have to be that big. It can just be something like, I'm going to focus on making the people around me every day happy. I'm going to focus on, making my audience laugh. I'm going to focus on giving my audience a safe space to talk about stuff, even if I'm not a coach. You could sell a product, but depending on what the product is, you can still provide a positive impact to the people in your following. You can still provide a positive feedback to people in your life. So focusing on that positive impact versus, again, trying to feel superior to other people. The second is really, and this might seem cheesy to some of you, and that's totally okay, but it's to know that you're deserving. It's to know that you're deserving and you're worthy, but so are everyone else. Everybody else is also deserving and worthy. And it's not about you trying to prove yourself to other people. And again, way easier said than done. But when you know that you're worthy and you're deserving, it becomes easier for you to make decisions in your business that are actually for you and for your family and for the life that you want, versus seeking out the approval of other people. And then it really too is about compete it with yourself. Don't compete with other people. You're not trying to build this super successful business so that you can crush the competition. And maybe part of that is part of your motivation. And again, that's okay. But that can be a trap, because you might start making decisions in your business because you want to crush the competition, versus making decisions in your business that are aligned with who you are and what you want to do and what actually works for you in your life. And it really is about recognizing too that a tide rises all boats. So if you're spending your time and energy, again, judging your business against other people's business, if you're spending your time looking for reasons to feel better about yourself because of where other people are, if you are even using entrepreneurship as a reason to feel superior to other people, these are all ego traps that we get into. And how it relates to business is because we are our businesses. Most of us as entrepreneurs, our business has like our literal blood, sweat, and tears in it, and we are creating and cultivating this thing and bringing it out into the world. And whatever it is that you're bringing out into the world, you're spending so much time and energy on it. You're probably sacrificing other parts of your life so that you can create this business. So make sure that the business that you're creating is worth it. Make sure that you're creating a business for you, for your life, not for other people, not to impress other people, not to get their acceptance or approval, and definitely not so that you can feel better about yourself. You want to do it because you're trying to bring good into the world in whatever way that that is, and you're trying to create a better life for you and for your family. And that's what entrepreneurship and building your business should be about. So if you feel like maybe sometimes you're like me and you get stuck a little bit in that ego trap, then I'd love to talk to you about it. You can always shoot me a message or put something in the comments below, because it might seem, again, not like something we typically talk about when we think about business, but our egos, for the most part, drive all of our decisions and all of our choices. And I want to make sure that you're building a business and a life that actually aligns with who you are and what you want and what your values are, not what you think other people want, not, because you're trying to get other people's approval. And maybe you don't even actually know what your values are and what life you want. You're just doing what you're doing because you think you have to. And that's okay. It's just about taking that time to stop and regroup and ask yourself some questions to make sure that you're building a business that aligns with who you are and what you want. So as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye.